Welcome back to the AI 101 series. In our last session, we talked about the art of conversation, the importance of providing context, and iterating with your AI teammate to refine its output. Well, this conversational approach is perfect for many tasks. In fact, for simple questions, I usually use ChatGPT as a replacement for Google search. I'm just a little bit more specific than I would be with Google. It's faster and often gives me a more direct answer. But when you need to tackle a more complex project, like drafting a marketing plan or creating a detailed outline for a book or generating a series of social media posts, you need a more structured approach. And this is where most people get stuck. They don't know how to give the AI the clear, comprehensive instructions it needs to produce a sophisticated result. So, in session number 4, we're going to talk about crafting the perfect prompt. And I'm going to give you a simple 4-part framework that will change everything about how you use AI. It'll help you get the best AI results every single time. Now, before we break down each part, I want you to notice something. This framework is the exact same process that you would use to delegate a task effectively to a human team member. For example, you'd pick the right person for the job, the role. You'd give them the necessary background information, the context. You'd clearly define the task, the assignment, and you would specify what the final deliverable should look like, the output. So learning to prompt AI well will make you a better delegator to people and vice versa. It's the exact same skill. So let's dive into this 4-part framework. Part number 1 is to define the role. This is where you tell your AI teammate who it should be. And by assigning a role, you instantly narrow its focus from all the knowledge in the world to the specific expertise you need for your specific task. You're essentially putting the right person on the job. For example, instead of just asking it to write something, you might start your prompt with something that looks like one of these examples. You're an expert book reviewer. You have a knack for getting to the essence of a book and summarizing without distortion. Here's another one. You are a world-class New York Times bestselling writer and writing coach. You specialize in writing award-winning newsletters that have hundreds of thousands of readers. Third, you're an expert copywriter, specialize in crafting high-converting web pages using Donald Miller's StoryBrand framework. So, starting with the role is the most critical step. It sets the entire context for the rest of the conversation and dramatically improves the quality and the relevance of the output. So now let's go to part number 2, provide the context. So if the role is who the AI is, the context is what the AI needs to know to do the job well. And this is where you provide the necessary background information, you describe the audience, and state the overall goal. So here's an example of a context. Again, continue with our copywriter example. The context might sound like this. I'm creating a sales page for a new digital course on productivity. The target audience is busy, overwhelmed entrepreneurs who feel like they're constantly behind. The goal of this page is to get them to sign up for a free webinar. So with that context, the AI now understands not just the task, but the entire strategic landscape surrounding it. That leads us to part number 3, state the assignment. This is the specific, actionable task that you want the AI to perform. This is where you get crystal clear about the deliverable. So let me give an example of an assignment. Again, taking the sales page as our example, your assignment is to write 5 different headline options for the sales page. Each headline should speak directly to the entrepreneur's pain point of feeling overwhelmed and make it nearly impossible for them to stop reading. Notice how specific it is. It's not just write some headlines, it's write 5 different headline options that focus on a specific pain point. The more precise your assignment, the better the result. And that brings us to our final part of the framework. Specify the output. Finally, you need to specify the output. This is where you tell the AI exactly how you want the information delivered. Do you want it in a paragraph, a bulleted list, a table, A full report with formal headings? For our headline task, the output instruction might look like this. Please provide the 5 headlines in a numbered list. After each headline, add a 1-sentence explanation of the psychological trigger it uses. Rank these in order of likely effectiveness based on what you know about marketing and human psychology. So, by defining the output format, you make the information immediately useful and save yourself the time of having to reform it later. Okay, I want to give you a pro tip. This is an XML tag example. And before you shrink back in terror or your eyes glaze over, this is going to make your prompts even more clear to the AI. And it's simple. You can use simple labels, almost like labels on a file folder. Some people use what are called XML tags. I do. It sounds technical, but it's not. You don't have to learn a programming language, I promise you. You're simply wrapping each section of your prompt in a label between angle brackets, like the example on the slide. So for example, we have the role, and then we have the context, and we have the label before, and we have the label after. And notice when you end the label or end the section, you use the slash mark after the angle bracket. It just provides an extra layer of structure that helps the AI understand your intent perfectly. Okay? Sounds easy? It is. So there you have it. Role, context, assignment, and output. That's the perfect prompt template. Up next, we'll look at training AI to write like you. So if you've ever been frustrated that AI just doesn't sound like you, we're going to fix that in the next session. I'll show you how to get AI to sound exactly like you, or maybe even better than you. And by the way, if you're not in the AI Business Lab Mastermind, and if you're interested in learning more, check us out at fullfocus.co/mastermind. See you in the next video.